recorded, and transcript will be recorded as part of our study. Thank you for the introduction to the OCPC Bike Month activity. That'd be exciting. I hope for the rest activity, you all can sign up and join the Bike Month activities. Thank you so much. So today is the May 21st. It's 6:33 right now. So we're going to talk about the Route 80 corridor study. So next, please. So first, we as OCPC team are going to present Route 80 corridor study. OCPC is a planning staff for the Old Colony Metropolitan Planning Organization. In short, it's Old Colony MPO. We also serve the advised by JTC. JTC is a Joint Transportation Committee. We are responsible for prioritizing transportation initiatives. We are helping MassDOT at the federal, state, and local level, help coordination and development of transportation improvement projects. So the purpose for this corridor study was initiated starting from high priority corridor study a couple of years ago, and Route 80 was identified as one of the key corridors in OCPC region. This project is financially being possible through funding from UPWP program, project number 3600, under the contract with MassDOT. Next, please. So this is our agenda for tonight. We are very fortunate to have a total of 15 attendees for this meeting. And let's give a quick introduction. If you're willing to speak your name, affiliation, and the reason why, what brought you here, and what's your expectation, feel free to have your remark. So I'm going to say the name from left to right on my screen. So if you do not want to speak or your microphone doesn't work, it's okay. I will just pause very quickly. Let's start with Sean.
Thank you, Go Chung. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sean Bailey. I am one of the senior transportation planners here at Old Colony Planning Council, and I will pass it over to Matt.
Matthew.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew Dyer. I'm a senior transportation planner here at Old Colony Planning, focused on the environmental side of the corridor study.
Mary.
Good evening. My name is Mary Waldron. I'm honored to be the executive director of Old Colony Planning Council and to have such an amazing, talented professional staff.
Thank you, Charlie.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Charles Kilmer, Deputy Director and Transportation Program Manager at Old Colony Planning Council.
Thank you. Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan Wentworth, and I live on Route 80. I am also a Precinct 13 town meeting member. I'm right on here on the corner of Kristen Road and Route 80 in Plymouth.
Thank you. Frank.
My name is Frank Mand. I am a member of the Plymouth Planning Board. I am also the liaison to the West Plymouth Steering Committee, which is the general Route 80 focus area. And I'm also the vice president of the Southeastern Massachusetts Pine Barrens Alliance, a conservation group concerned with the whole ecoregion, but headquartered in Plymouth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So my order of the names a little bit off, so bear with me. Next, Bill, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bill Nolte. I'm, excuse me, Principal Transportation Planner at Old Colony Planning Council. I manage the Transportation Improvement Program as well as long-range planning.
Thank you, Bill. Rick.
Rick Bossy, town engineer for the town of Plymouth.
Thank you, Rick. Pine.
Hey, how are you, everybody? From Kingston, on Elm Street, I like to call it, resident. Also with the Jones River Watershed Association and former Conservation and Open Space Committee member in Kingston. So I have a lot of interest in what's going on here. Thank you.
Pine. Thank you. Wayne Gerhardt. Okay. Uh, Charles Leolis. Okay. David Drain.
Yes, I'm Dave Drain. I'm a resident on Route 80, pretty much where they're putting the cemetery in or near the Kingston line. And my wife Pat's with me.
Thank you for both for joining us. Elaine. Judith Barber.
Yes. My name is Judith Barber, and I'm the chair of the West Plymouth Steering Committee. And Route 80 is a major part of our area and very much influences the traffic here in Plymouth and also next door in Kingston.
Thank you. So I've seen all the names on here. If you want to be introduced, or you can drop off the text on the chat box. So let's move on with our
Go-Chung,
agenda. For,
Wen Gerhard has her hand raised.
oh, thank you.
Sorry, I think I wasn't on camera when you called my name before. But my name is Gwen Gerhard, and for 38 years, I've lived right off of Route 80 on Megansett Drive, one of the main intersections along Route 80, and also the area where there's a lot of commercial development and also traffic coming from Colony Place. So and I've been working with the West Plymouth Steering Committee. I'm a member of the Pine Barrens Alliance and been kind of an advocate for Route 80 for a while. So thanks.
Thank you for joining us. So we have a good mix of participants tonight from Kingston and Plymouth. We have received some comments that we're going to have two separate meetings for two communities. So tonight we are going to focusing on Plymouth side. So next Thursday at the same time, we'll be focusing on Kingston, but it doesn't mean that you can only join one of this meetings. So we're going to cover most on Plymouth, but we will also talk about the traffic condition for both community. So my name is Guochang Li. I'm the principal transportation planner with OCPC. I'm also one of the co-manager for the corridor study, as well as Bill McNulty. So, so discussion tonight, it's basically the overview for Route 80 corridor study. Our team have conducted corridor study starting from data collection to traffic analysis. We also reach out to the agencies, the town, MassDOT District 5, and then we were very fortunate to speak with some of the residents throughout the corridor study. So tonight we are going to present the preliminary findings and the future consideration and some design planning alternatives. We will talk about the overall, the corridor condition and the recommendation. We also focusing on some of the key intersections. What about their safety? What about the congestion conditions? So this is all we are talking about. So it's going to be totally 1 hour meeting. You can raise your hand if you have any questions. We do appreciate everyone's input. So this is not a voting, it's not a design meeting. So the comments you made, we're going to record it. So it's not the number of comments on the same subject. It's about the comprehensiveness of the understanding of this corridor. Next, please. So our study area really extended 6.5 centerline mile from Kingston Route 3A intersection all the way to Carver Road in Plymouth. So majority of our corridor, it's in Kingston. In Plymouth, it's about 1.5 from the town line to Carver Road. So under this 6.5 miles, about 2.5 miles under town of Kingston, and 4 miles is under MassDOT jurisdiction. In total, there are 3 traffic signals being installed, 1 in Kingston and 2 in Plymouth. So we have multiple stop control intersections having residential or business collectors directly intersect with Route 80. So the roadway is classified as an urban minor arterial in urban area. It has a general two-lane road layout, and mostly it's governed by a two yellow line as a central device. The post limit along the corridor it's staying on the high end, so from 30, 40, and the 45 mile per hour. So it includes two school zones along the corridor. And the special speed regulation is established, was in 1960s. Next, please. This is just a macro overview for the area in Plymouth. So along Route 80, it zones as mostly commercial, residential, with the regional shopping center, as you know. For the land use, it's mostly forest, wooded area. Like someone has already mentioned, there's a huge element of conservation, preserved lands. Next, please. Some have already pointed out, the importance of, any bicycling activity. As our database shows, the Claire Soughton store bikeway is directly along Route 80. It turned to the west at the Elm Street in Kingston. And Bay Circuit Trail, it's just about 500 feet away from Route 80 on the Elm Street on the east side. So I have a 2 or 3 red pointer on the map that you can see where the trail bikeway is located. Next, please. So at this point, if you have any question, feel free to raise your hand. So next, I'm going to talk about the traffic operation. So the traffic, basically the component of different transportation modes and speed, volume, and truck percentage. So along Route 80 in Plymouth, the volume is higher than in Kingston because we have East of Commerce Way carry significant traffic going into Cover Road. Overall, the volume along Route 80 stays, little over 3,000 to 6,000. It's more, collector road, minor arterial road. There is no immediate need for any road widening, but the RETIS data is a database for traffic congestion. Looks like the majority of the congestion really occur when the traffic signal operate at the peak hour. It generates some delay. Over 60% of traffic delay comes from the traffic signal. As you can see, the 85 percentile speed is what that means is what's the 85% high traffic speed. How many miles are the 85 percentile high for all the traffic on a daily basis. So we collected the weekday and weekend speed just to compare their pattern. Next, please. So when I talk about the different transportation modes, as you can see, the vehicles, personal vehicles or some commercial pickup truck, they are actually dominant transportation mode along Route 80. We have seen some of the bicycling activity and some pedestrians especially at the PM peak hour. So we collected additional traffic data in the PM peak hour. So we collected totally 4 hours to observe the condition and try to understand the traffic condition in the peak hours. Next. About the truck, so truck percentage is one of the design or planning component. You understanding the heavy vehicle because they are actually much larger than the personal vehicle. So for the design, the tear and wearing of the roadway, it's one of the future planning consideration. As you can see from the chart, the truck percentage is fairly high along the corridor. For all three locations in Plymouth, they're all above 10% on the weekday and a little less on the weekends. So when we say truck, it is defined as any vehicle that is equal or larger than a school bus. So we conducted a corridor study survey, which was published at the end of December of 2025. And we provide a 1-month extension in order to collect more responses from the public. We appreciate that the town are willing to post all the flyers and to the town website and social media. So we overall we received over 150 responses. We had two version. One is in English and one is in Portuguese. This is our result for Plymouth site. Like what our data shows, over 90% are vehicle oriented, or car traveled, and single occupancy vehicle, it's, to a surprise, but not very surprised, over 55% single occupancy vehicle. We also asked about the primary mode. Almost 1% respondents answer that they actually walk as their primary mode of transportation. So we further the question because we know people will do multiple trips, and this is our result. Over 90 people respond to the question. So walking, they're about 26%, bicycling 8%, ride sharing 3%, and motorcycle 2.1%. So that really tells a story. It's what's the transportation mode, how do people commute, do shopping, walking, recreational purpose. So there's a wide variety of transportation mode from the survey responses we received. What about the primary purpose for trips? Over 100 responses we received. So this is really go back to the characteristic of Route 80. So 37% are related to the shopping purposes. So that's why we have seen the traffic pattern kind of vary with the shopping behavior. And 23% are commute. So along the corridor, the PM and AM peak still, it's composed of most of traffic. So when in the AM, 7 to 9 p.m. and in the afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m. are still very conventional. Like those are the travel peak hours. And we also have some other purpose of trips, including medical appointment and recreational, but they're on the lower side of the survey results. So we asked a question about congestion. This is kind of first question we asked. Have you ever, look for regular alternative route to avoid congestion? So the result is not surprising. So Route 80 is not a major like congested corridor, but still we have about 70% people answer, yes, we do find the alternate route regularly. So most of them, they use Route 44 or Route 3 to avoid the traffic congestion. But majority, they do not look for alternative route. Thank you, Sean. Okay, next, please. So we asked a question about those congestion locations to help us analyzing the corridor. So in Plymouth, we have Commerce Way as a most congested location, over 66%. And next, Carver Road, over 55%. So I'm not going to read all this. The good thing is tonight's meeting is really a brief level coverage of the corridors study. We, as a team, we will prepare a detailed draft report after the meeting. Okay, next. So we also asked about the intersection that has, safety concerns where, where are those locations that will require safety improvement, including, signage, geometric improvement, signal improvement, bike and ped accommodation. So this is the response we received. The top of the list is the uh, Willow Bend Boulevard, or you could call Kristen Road intersection. Um, Next is Commerce Way and the Route 80 intersection. And so both of this location were on the list of congestion and safety. So those two issues usually come hand in hand. When a location is constantly congested or having some issue in terms of travel speed, it's sometimes related to the safety. Next, please. We also asked a question about what kind of future infrastructure, what kind of things you want to see in the future. So a lot of people answer that they want to see traffic calming, lower the speed, because that's directly related to traffic safety. At the higher speed, the more kinetic energy it will cause, talking about injury or, fatality. It's just related to the safety. It's the top priority along Route 80. We have a relatively diversified answer on this question. Based on the answers, we can see a majority wanting to see no future development, would like to see the corridor remain the quietness, excluded a lot of travels, being a town that as it is right now. Next. So about the future development, it's really consistent with the previous question we have. Over 40% respondent, they answer no more land use development. And all the other responses are staying in the lower, quarter, including, increasing residential uses and mixed use, also related to some, business and residential. Other answer at the lower end of 10%, including commercial development, some business, and bring some economic development or employment, transit oriented. So some people might find transit might be helpful, in a more dense development kind of land use strategy. Next, please. We asked the question particular to bicycling facility, right? So we receive a good responses. Most of respondents want to see any type of bicycling accommodation off the road. So 52 off the road multi-use. So multi-use pass is two directional, as most of you know, it's two direction. It pedestrians, bicyclists, they're able to use it. So the MassDOT design requirement is 10 feet. It's the minimum width. So the off-road trail we heard about, along Route 80, there are a lot of, wooded area, a lot of conservation, also designated bikeway, bike route. So this is part of it. It's the trail, the off-road trail. It's 45%. It's kind of intuitive that kind of reflect, the needs and the future demand for the future design of the bicycling facility. Okay. So separate bike lane, it's on road, but they establish the separation from the general traffic and the bicyclist. We also received some other opinion, and about 10% answer, we don't want any bicycling along Route 80. So it's kind of on the low end side, but we still want to hear them, and the traffic study, corridor study, actually finding the facts and the analyze. This is not for design, but this is providing justification or documentation or evidence for the future design. Next, please. All right, so let's shift attention from bicycle pedestrian accommodation, from the traffic operation to more specific to the traffic collisions. So OCPC team, we did traffic analysis based on the collision data we received from MassDOT impact collision portal. So we generate heat map. I know heat map is very popular nowadays, and it kind of gives you overview of the traffic safety condition. So we selected all the collisions occur along Route 80, about 500 feet from the center line. So this is our result. So we, like I said, we're focusing more on Plymouth side, but this just giving us a general picture. So the three most hotspot for collision from the north is Route 3A at Route 80 intersection. So the heat map also show any adjacent intersection, like in Kingston, that include Second Brook Street intersection and 3A intersection. So in Plymouth side, Thomas Way at Route 80 is kind of the hottest spot for the collisions. We have calculated the crash rate as a little bit more than state average back in 2018. So the data will involved. However, this location seemed to be the most dangerous intersection along the corridor. And second on the list is the Cover Road at Route 80 corridor. So Cover Road is a principal arterial road with no access control. It carries a lot of traffic throughout the day. So overall, there's over 160 collisions. And as you can see from the type of collisions, so this is what analysts will focusing on, the types of collisions that give an indication of the problems along the corridor. So over 60 collisions are single vehicles. So we can reimagine that comes from the traffic speed or road conditions. 42 are rear-ended collisions. Also could be speeding, related, or could be the sideline related, traffic signal or stop control, that type of thing. So angle crash 32. So angle crash usually generate the most severity among the others. So 32 are related to the angle. That could be intersection design, geometric design, or side distance related issues. 25 are size-wide. So that could be also the visibility, the speeding, driver attention. So among all those collisions, 47 are injuries. Over 100 is PDO. Next. So this is a map that illustrates the key intersections for Route 80. I'm not going to read all of them, but I would like to highlight a couple of them. So from our Charlie, do you have a question?
Yeah, I wonder if it's a good time to maybe take a pause and look at some of the questions in the chat.
Yes, that'd be great.
There's a couple of them that have popped up.
Sean, would you read the question?
Yes. So Pine Dubois asked, can the slides be made available for closer looks and understanding at some point? Yes, I can post the slides in the chat. And Pine also asked, what about schools? Pine, could you possibly elaborate on that, please?
So I think it had to do with where people with the commuting that people were doing, and the schools weren't included. So I didn't know if it was included in the commute, section or some other way, but I feel like traveling to schools is a big deal for everybody in the local community. So that's really it was just a question on that particular slide. So that's you were asking people why do they get on the road, you know?
Mhm. Pine, thank you for your comments. So we did consider the school traffic impact. So that's why we extended the peak hour data collection to include the traffic condition. So there are two schools, elementary school, that we studied the intersection along Route 80. One is
But it wasn't a primary
Sacred.
purpose. That was kind of what I was, looking at because I didn't know if it was conjoined in the commute part or if it was, something else. That's all. It's not an important. It's not that important. It's just that I know that the schools do take up a lot of people's time at a certain age of life.
Yeah. Oh. No, thanks for the comment.
Yes, thank you, Pine. And then when Gerard asked question why the intersection of Route 80 and Magansett Drive was excluded, the only intersection in Plymouth not studied.
Okay. So I'm very happy to take questions. We have received the comment for Magansett Drive intersection. So we have conducted actual traffic counting at this location. And in fact, we were able to get all the data and complete safety analysis. We do the counts for the intersection. So Sean, if you can move the page to the map with all the key intersection. So if you look at the table on number 7, we included Magansett Drive. And our data shows the entering vehicle, it's over 1,000. And you're correct, the volume is high. So I think this the part of the great thing about corridor study is we continue working with the town, MassDOT, District 5, and the general public traveler. You guys know more than we do. So we included your comments. We conducted actual study, collect actual data for including in the draft report. So back to this intersection, the crash rate is 0.14. So it's very fortunate, lower than the others. But we will continue to include this intersection from now on. So we do not exclude any major intersections because think about it's a 6.5-mile roadway. We try to include all the key problematic intersection. Another thing I want to point out is Matt Adair, he was able to conduct a dash cam drive-through reporting. So all the information, including the presentation slides, including all the previous slides, data, our milestone, our finding, our data, they are all included, posted on OCPC website. And Sean, if you don't mind, could you post the link for OCPC website? So to answer the previous question, Magansett Drive intersection is included in our study. Thank you.
Okay, I was just wondering because in the earlier slides, I see it on this chart, but on the earlier slides, it wasn't listed. So I don't know if that data from, I don't remember I think there were volume of traffic and things like that, but so in those slides and in those charts, there was no mention of Magansett Drive. I mean, I see it here, but that was the first time it showed up. So I don't know if that makes a difference that it wasn't included previously. This obviously is key intersections, but my point is it wasn't on the other slides. So
yeah. Mary?
No, I just was going to say that we could note that it certainly wasn't included. I'll let Guo discuss that, but to your point, visually as we're presenting the slide itself, you may not have seen that. So we can certainly have that be adjusted.
Okay.
I mean, if I understand your question, so that will be no difference. So the report will be done, during 1 year time. So if we receive, some of the comment, we will address it. So there's no difference.
Okay.
There's no difference.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's. Any other questions, Sean? Do you want me to address at this point?
No, those were the only questions posted in the chat.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we're back to the intersection collision summary. So we like to use this table just to illustrate, what's the condition there. No collision, it's not important, so all of them are included. So we analyze the type of collision that helps drive our recommendations, what kind of alternative for the future design considerations. So Willow Bend Boulevard is on the left-hand side, number one. So it had two collisions for 5-year period, one rear-ended and one head-on. So it really tells, the speeding. Some of the collision that occur at or close to the intersection, it doesn't mean it's directly caused by the intersection. Sometimes it just they happen to occur at that location. So this table it kind of give us ideas, if there's any improvement, what happened and how that happened and how can we find a countermeasure for them. So we did include the traffic impact for the elementary school. West Elementary School, we collected the data, the turning movement count beyond the school operation hours. So we have totally 6 hours, and looks like there are higher collisions for the elementary school entrance. So the crash rate is a little bit higher than the others. It resulted in 0.39, almost 0.4%. The traffic volume also higher end. So most of the collision are related to the single vehicle collision. So no other contact with other drivers, just one vehicle. At the Dundee Way, it's one collision, it's a single vehicle. So it kind of related to the corridor characteristics. It's, people seem to pick up the speed, really not impacting with other vehicle or road user. The Commerce Way, it's the location that has highest collisions for the 5 years. The entering volume is also the highest too. It's almost 2,500 for the peak hour. Okay, the crash rate is 0.82. So you can see the diagram is a little bit small, but I can read it loud here. The state average for signalization intersection is 0.78. For the non-signalized intersection, usually means the stop control. So it's a 0.57. That's for the state average. Like I said, this data was calculated back in 2018. The traffic pattern, the collision pattern could be changed over time. So among those 37 collisions, there were 15 angle crashes. That could be related to the traffic light operation. Most of the time, the yellow clearance means like when you see a yellow, how long it is, and the red clearance interval, like when the traffic stop in one approach, what is the leeway, what's the cushion for other approaches to stop. So if the red clearance or yellow interval time is too short, usually if a vehicle that driving at a high speed, they would not be able to stop quick enough, and then the collision occurred. So rear-ended has 8 collisions, also including some other size-wide and single vehicle. So it has a good indication of travel speed. Maybe a little bit about the traffic timing, and also some of the congestion issues, maybe a higher delay in the peak hour. Okay. So we collected the collision data for both engines for West Plymouth Square Mall. In total, it had 4 collisions in the past. We particularly pay attention to any angle crash. Like I said, the severity-wise, it's the worst. It has 1 angle crash and 2 rear-end crashes and 1 head-on. So head-on is another major problem for roadway safety. It really indicates, visibility, speeding, and driver attention and the roadway design. Okay. Magansett Drive, I appreciate the question, and responded throughout the public outreach. So we included this intersection. So there were 3 collisions for 5 years. The entering peak hour volume is high, and it had one angle crash. So it's related to the design, like I pointed out earlier, side distance, all type of things. Rear-ended have 2 within the 5 years. So we talk about the injury. We have included all those statistics in the draft report. Will be included in the draft report. So help us to think of those countermeasures. For the Village West Trail, there were 4 collisions for 5 years, and mostly half of them are the rear-ended, and then 2 others related to size-wide and single vehicle collision. Right. So last but not least, at the Carver Road, we as a team we conducted field study at this location. The crash number of crash during 5 years is 19 crashes. So the crash rate has not been as much as the state average, but it stays on the higher side. And so this location does have a relatively older traffic signal system. The southbound right turn lane, if you would, from Carver Road going to the southbound, it's uncontrolled right turn. It's kind of a continuous right turn. No bike and ped accommodation for this location. The street is simply wide for any kind of safety for non-vehicle transportation mode. Okay. Any question on this table particularly? Okay. Next, please. So this is our the strategy. What do we think would be helpful for improving Route 80? So that really echo back from our previous conversation, traffic calming. We got to slow down the traffic, for travelers coming from a local road, residential road, entering a roadway with a speed of 45, 50. It's not safe that way. So traffic calming, it's what we identify as a top strategy for improving the safety and the traffic condition along Route 80. Another thing is access management. So the access management is a big term for like driveway, number of driveways, driveway spacing, and the width of driveway issues. Like this is related to the design issue. And the environmental. So we have a team that focusing on monitor or assess the condition of culvert. That portion chapter will be included in our draft report as well. Next. So we talk about the intersection like congestion delay. So we have developed in-house synchro analysis. It's basically model the intersections at the peak hours, different time of the day, and we look for the recommendations such as where there's a turning movement has a inadequate supply of capacity. So those are the questions that we will focus on providing the recommendation for intersection safety and congestion issues. So the roadway maintenance is all about, along the corridor, what about the pavement conditions? So based on our pavement condition survey, very little, small area that require immediate pavement resurfacing project. So continuously, the bike impact will be another main concern. Future strategy: how do we more effectively accommodate the need for bicycling and pedestrians? It's any location that has a crosswalk, we recommend it to have a rapid flashing beacon, or maybe hawk if it's warranted. So the ADA compliance and then connecting all the bicycling destinations. So we do not find an immediate need for truck exclusion, heavy vehicle exclusion along Route 80, maybe some of the back road might need some consideration for excluding the truck traffic into the local residential streets. Thank you. Next. Okay. So I'm seeing a question. So before we move on, I'd like to answer the question. Sean, would you mind read the question to me?
Absolutely. So, Win asked or stated in the chat, one of the problems I think is that the posted speed limit changes so many times along Route 80 and people do not change their speed. They keep going 45 miles per hour. Also, a problem is that a large volume of cars come west on Carver Road, turn right onto Route 80, and immediately speed up to 45, crossing through intersections with West Village Trail and Megansett at high speeds. I also notice that I am often tailgated by a vehicle behind me going 45 miles per hour, and I need to take a right turn into Megansett Drive, and I'm worried about being rear-ended. They don't notice my right turn signal. The speed limit along this section is too fast.
Thank you for the comment from Wayne. So I'm very glad that we cover a lot on the traffic calming. Speeding is like a main issue along Route 80. And Wayne, I really appreciate your comment. That's kind of support our study. Like I said, this is not a design meeting, but it's important meeting that we collect all this information, evidence, analysis. So I want to agree with you, and I do agree with you. The speeding is a main issue. If Sean, you don't mind, if you can go back to the slides, I think it's the second one or third one that has all the posted limit. Yeah, right here. Thank you. So we label the post limit on this map when you're right on the target on the spot. So in the Plymouth portion along Route 80, so if you go in westbound, a post limit is 45 mile per hour. And then past Commerce Way, there is a temporary or the regular school hours is 20-mile hour. So there's no transitions. So from 45 mile to 20 mile per hour traffic speed. So there's no transition. And then as it's go on, it's still 45 until before entering the town line, it reduced to 20. Okay. So now I'm going to the eastbound, which is from right after the town line. It's posted 45 mile. The same thing happened when it's get closer to West Elementary School at the peak hour. But think about the light does not turn on in the school hours. It's going to be 45 mile per hour. So it's all the way carried to passing a Commerce Way before you're going to cover it reduced to 30. So that kind of just confirmed what you told me. And the vehicle making a right turn from Carver Street, they did not need to slow down. That's the same thing when our team were out there. We don't feel safe at that location. So vehicle speed are way too high. And you mentioned about tailgating. That's part of different speed of traveling. So they often cause a problem. So I do not want to answer or provide the opinion, but this is basically the fact, the evidence from our data collection, our field study. But I really appreciate your comment.
And we've
John,
had
go
a
ahead.
couple of other comments come into the chat. Yes. Susan Wetworth asked, is the new cemetery traffic being taken into consideration for traffic and needs for continuation of the sidewalks?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
She asked, is the new cemetery traffic being taken into consideration for traffic and needs for continuation of the sidewalks?
So in terms of sidewalk, at a specific location, I believe this is in Plymouth, right? So we are aware of this ongoing sidewalk construction project. I believe it's 95% completion from Willowbend Boulevard to Commerce Way. So that's all we know. In terms of hi Charlie, you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, with regard to the sidewalk question, we'll follow up with Rick Bossy after the meeting
Okay.
and include it in the study.
Okay.
The new sidewalks, we've been trying to get those put in from the state because it's a state road for many years, and it's been such an important factor for the neighborhood that the town, actually the taxpayers themselves, put in the money for this on a state road to put the sidewalks in with town money. We only made it with that funding to the corner of Kristen Road and Willowbrook there. And now that we have the cemetery, and people have been using them quite a bit since they've gone in. So I don't know if any of these studies kind of take into consideration now that the sidewalks are there, what the usage of them is, and what kind of effects if people want to continue on and get to the cemetery, and what kind of traffic we're going to have with, funeral services and such that may need a little more attention in that area.
Mhm. Thank you, Susan. So I will take your comments, and I definitely do not have the answer right now. We will receive as a comment, and we will continue the conversation with District 5 and with the town. Thank you. I have a attendee raise a hand. Judith, you're unmuted.
Yes, Judith, if you can hear us, you can unmute yourself and make your comment or ask your question.
I'm sorry, I will start over again. I'm Judy Barber, and the West Plymouth Steering Committee was very active in laying out the sidewalk project. And what we had asked for at the time is to have a bike lane. And of course, it is a state highway at that location. And there never was a bikeway. And looking at the layout, it's pretty busy. There is no extra space to have the sidewalk, the roadway, and a little bit of clearance on each side. So I am curious about where one could put a bikeway and whether it would be off the roadway somewhere, because I don't know how wide people would tolerate that roadway. I mean, if you had 2 lanes and 2 bike lanes on the outside, that's pretty wide.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, we do not discuss the definite outcome for this. We will record your comment and suggestion. I mentioned earlier, the continuous bicycling and pedestrians gonna be a challenge along Route 80, but we will look into, the possible alternatives. So we talk about the cross section, how can be effective to accommodate two-lane traffic, if as a multi-use path, how would that fit in? But that's not the design purpose for this meeting. It's do we need and does the community will support, does MassDOT will support this type of alternative for the future? But this corridor study is for the future consideration. So we collect all the evidence and comments into the study. I hope this makes sense. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, we have 2 more comments in the chat. Frank Mann says West Plymouth is burdened with a survey of commercial development along Route 80, including 3 major malls that isolates residents and reduces access to green space. I would hope that the calming measures employed also take into consideration the need for greater access to green spaces, trails, parks, etc., even those not yet designed.
Mhm. Thank you for the comment. Yeah, as I pointed out earlier, this draft report definitely will support any access to the current green space, trails, parks, wooded area. This is already mentioned previous, but this is really great to be addition to the discussion earlier.
And then one final question in the chat. Susan Wentworth asks, also, do we now have the future plans for the Sacred Heart School and what impact they may have?
Yes, so we do not know any future plan for Sacred Heart School. We do not know that. As part of the corridor study, we focus in on the existing traffic safety, traffic operation. But if the town or anybody provide the information that is supportive to the corridor study funding, we'll be happy to include it. So to answer your question short, we do not have any future plan knowledge for Sacred Heart School, but we evaluate the traffic condition along Route 18 at those proximities. Charlie?
And just a follow-up to Wynn's comment earlier about the speeding and tailgating, and then your reference to the current speed limits, and some of those go back to the special speed regulations of the 1960s. I did post in the chat a link to how a community would request speed zoning from MassDOT. And that's a helpful resource from MassDOT District 5, because the land use has definitely changed over the years and become more business districts, schools, and residential. So that might be worth investigating down the line with MassDOT, the existing speed limits.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
And there are no further comments in the chat at this time.
Okay. John, do you mind turning the slide to the last page? I don't want to miss anything. So the next steps, I appreciate all the question, comments. It really make a productive discussion. So like I said, this is the first meeting for Route 80. So our next one, it's in Kingston. So that'll be same time next Thursday. So our team will be busy in preparing the draft report, including all the comments, analysis. We'll verify some of the traffic evaluation, document all the maps and summaries. After that, we're going to share our draft report findings with agencies, the town, MassDOT District 5, and then we will post the draft report on our website as soon as we have a draft. Some of the location might need some road safety audit, a formal road safety audit. We will continue coordinating with the town, MassDOT, and if there's a need, we will conduct some further studies. So the complete project will be delivered. The final report will be delivered by the end of September. So all these common findings will be included in the formal report. Next, please. So this is my contact information. The success for this corridor study really coming from the OCPC team and the hardworking team from the town of Kingston and Plymouth, as well as MassDOT. We're here to appreciate all of your work, and the work will be continued. Any further question, we're happy to answer.
I think, Go-Chung, there's a question that Susan said will we get the meeting link for the Kingston meeting for next week? So
I can put that in the chat right now.
And then
Susan,
sorry, I was just going to say, and to watch our social media and our website for that information as well.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Susan, you emailed me before. I still have your email address. I will be happy to send you any information if you need it. But if this works, that'd be great. And feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help.
I appreciate
and Judith,
it.
Thank you. Same way.
Hi.
Judith.
Yes, I have a couple questions if you're still talking.
Yeah, we can still go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever proposal you come up with, would there be funding for it? And how would those proposed changes be implemented? Would funding be covered for that? In other words, to come up with all these ideas, how are we going to get it into operation?
Okay. So I will answer your question just from a transportation study perspective. So there is no guarantee of funding, of design, of anything we propose. We will list all the potential improvement, like any short-term, mid-term, or long-term improvement. We will provide some cost estimate, but all this project has not been compared or developed as a state or region project. So there's really no guarantee that anything that we included in the draft report will be funded or that type of consideration. Charlie?
Yeah. Thank you, Kuchang. So one of the really nice things about these corridor studies and potential recommendations and alterations to the roadway, it'll serve as a platform or a catalyst for MassDOT to pursue potential changes. If they're coming in to do a maintenance job, perhaps what they could do is make alterations based on some of the information from the report using MassDOT budget for maintenance. But then also the town can work with MassDOT to advocate for grants to pay for improvements or alterations, and they can use studies such as this as support for the need to pursue design changes. So these studies have been instrumental in other parts of the region in grant applications for securing funding. So that's one of the valuable things about these studies. So
Thank you, Charlie. Very well spoken. Yeah. So this is a comprehensive, also very formal documentation. So any design team or any funding opportunity that the town initiated, this is a great document to start with. Any other questions? Okay. So we are happy to answer any questions. Anybody, I don't want to hold you hostage. It's a little over 7:30, 7:35 right now. So if we do not have any further questions or comments, we can adjourn the meeting. And thank you for everyone's time, valuable night, and we appreciate it. So like I said, this project will be continuous, and the staff will be preparing a draft report. If you want to find any information about this corridor study, you can go on OCPC website. I believe it's on the front page, Route 80 corridor study. At the meantime, we have another concurrent traffic study for Route 53 and 139 in Pembroke that Bill McNulty is co-managing. That's all from me tonight. This is a great group, very productive meeting. I hope to see you again. I have provided my email address. If you have any questions, no matter how small, always, I would be happy to respond to you and provide any further assistance. Thank you.
Great job, OCPC staff. Have a good night. Happy
Thank you.
Memorial Day.